We see our Dawnbreaker.
Yay!
The
I've been
cute
talking about her
Dawnbreaker.
so much. I even made you guys fight over which position she should go in.
It's gonna be a 3 though this time around, and oof, Crystal Maiden coming out here. That's
Whoa,
something a
see
little
him.
bit. And there he comes.
There's the Doom. They love it.
I mean, in my eyes, whenever you pick this Crystal Maiden, you need to absolutely dominate your lane. Like, if
Yeah,
you're
I
not
agree.
getting 2+ kills in that lane, it's a fail. Because later on, it's not like you're this line with an instant hex, potential for multiple stuns, the burst potential. It's all like slow, rampy up stuff. So if a BKB is used, you just do nothing for like, 5 to 10 seconds, which is a really awkward situation to be in.
You know, Dawnbreaker does like mid to late game in fights against Doom. Like theoretically, your ultimate with some of the heal can maybe help out the Doom target, and you don't really want to go on the Doom target when she's popping that ultimate.
Yeah, and as well, like, they picked the Crystal Maiden. This is probably one of those games where something like a Nyx Assassin or a Silencer would have been pretty decent, right? Because against the Dawnbreaker, you just pop them instantly. And, if you're going this more greedy style, Dawnbreaker farming on the other side of the map, kind of like a traditional Spectre does, and looks to rejoin the team fight, you're kind of getting away with 3.5 cores, but if you just deny that completely, then you're in a bit of a rougher spot. Don't hate this for that sustained damage as well, right? A good way to kill the Wraith King the first time, and then you've still got the remaining static link damage to be able to kill him a second.
Yeah, and it's just naturally here that can frontline. You don't. I mean, it's a decent Doom target, but it's not like the most amazing.
Yeah.
If Razor's got his spells off, you don't mind being doomed.
Exactly.
It's really a question of do you get your spells off, and if you see Doom blink on you and you get your BKB off, maybe you don't get your spells off. But Razor's fast, you're going to be able to get out of the fight and probably live.
And you've got a little bit of a save with that Solar Guardian as well.
Yeah. So I'm thinking this is mid Doom though, because I don't see Doom wanting to lane with IO.
Either of these.
I also don't think
heroes.
CM wants to go with the So I think neither of these supports are really Doom support. So it looks like Doom mid, and they're looking for that Cuckoo last pick, which is where Motivate.Trust ban out Batrider, which is typically Cuckoo. I'm wondering what he plays, because CM is mostly I would say kind of more of a safe lane support.
I would say that as well. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm just trying to think of some Cuckoo stuff. Hell, even the Batrider IO isn't that great either, right?
But
So
probably thinking they need like a ranged hero against, or like magic damage hero against Razor.
like a Viper or something like that can be not terrible, but you just run the risk of being run over, especially with this Razor, right? So puts you in a bit of an awkward spot. When we were talking about, the potential heroes for Motivate to go, I was kind of thinking maybe the Snapfire, because they have no great, backline close outside of the relocate, but you've already picked up the Dawnbreaker.
Okay,
so
that's
probably
thinking
less likely.
Snapfire mid here. Like,
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
You never know. Could look to be coming out, but they're just getting rid of a bunch of Fearless Comfort right now. You've already gotten rid of the Puck, the Invoker, the Kunkka, all heroes that he's like Master Tier Plus on. It's left a bunch of spirits in the pool though, which
he loves it. He does like his Storm.
he does.
But
into a
maybe
Doom.
into a Doom. Yeah, it's not the. It's
There's
doable.
no instant lockdown outside of Doom.
Yeah, Storm's also just not a great hero right now,
Yeah.
to be totally honest. I think they need more damage. Like Razor Mars. Like last game, Mars was doing damage because he had the eye and the way he could build. I think they need a mid laner that dishes out damage. And
So they got the
you
Lesh
mentioned
themselves.
Lesh, yeah, it's on the other side.
I mean, good pairing with the IO, right? Like good sustain.
Yeah.
Able to withstand yourself within the team fight. Also the mana regen on top of that, which is great for the Pulse Nova. My issue with the T1 draft is there's nothing really just holding them in place to enable, good value out of the Doom, the Lesh,
Oh, yeah.
hell, even the Wraith King, right?
He's going to get kited.
Yeah, they're just going to get kited. I mean, Dawnbreaker has good movement speed with the, not movement speed, but the Celestial Hammer can get you out of things. The Razor, very fast, can just run
kind of
away.
like stun and run. Like Lion
Yeah.
or Mars, spear someone away, Earth Spike and run. Like
And you've got the arena to enable your team fight to actually work out quite well. And we don't even know what their last overall pick is.
Yeah, the one thing I think that's good with the Lesh, with the Doom, is these heroes can both go mid and both go offlane, so they can maybe swap up their lanes.
Sure.
Depending on what Motivate.Trust pick.
Yeah, and I liked your point from the last draft as well, that it was better that it was a Carl Doom mid and a Cuckoo DP offlane, just because it felt like the matchup was much more beneficial.
And Cuckoo played Doom offlane in a Razor and actually outfarmed Razor in game
You're
1.
right.
So,
Yeah.
I guess Doom doesn't get counted by Razor in lane. I mean, you're just always going to be able to, devour
You've got
stuff.
decent movement speed as well, right? Scorched Earth, you just boots. Even if you're able to get one of those Kobold Formans, perhaps, get that extra movement speed to be able to get away. And you've got the CM, right, for multiple slows in lane, if that's what the lane does end up being. And, well, they're just switching it up a little bit. So I was thinking reversal of this, Viper and Lesh on opposite teams. But, again, if you're stuck in place, yeah, Viper can give you some pretty damn good value here, and even just enable you to man fight a little bit more effectively with the break onto the likes of the Wraith King, and it just means that you're going to get kited so much more easily. But
spicy draft though.
It is a spicy draft. Yeah,
like both teams. It's like Leshrac, Vipers. Like we're seeing some different stuff, and it will be Doom in the offlane against the Razors. So they saw how well it went game 1, and they're like, let's do it again.
Who are you guys hoping is going to take out game number 3? And I guess
who are we hoping, or who do we think?
I think hoping. I think it's the same thing, right? You're like, this draft is really good, and I hope that they're able to execute it. I'll do it in that way.
For the spiciness of the league, Motivate.
That's what I was gonna say. I'm hoping if Motivate beat T1, like you've got Boom, who are, if T1 lose, Boom is probably getting first because they're 5-0. They're already, I think, guaranteed to go to the major.
Maybe second, like
because they're guaranteed top 3 already.
Yeah.
But T1 losing means that second, third place, anybody can
Wide
get those.
open.
It would be so exciting to see that happen.
Yeah.
But,
well, it'll be interesting to know just how spicy the league does get, as we are going to be jumping into game number 3 pretty soon. And a little birdie told me it's now going to be you two casting this game. So please enjoy, have fun, and take it away.
Fun times.
Thank you, Nat. Yeah, I'm excited for this one.
Yeah,
game
Aries,
3.
you've grown a beard. You know, it's something a little bit different.
I've also, put on some weight.
It's all right. It's all right. It was over the Christmas period. It's fine.
Yeah.
You're able to put on a few of those extra kilos, and you went to a wedding as well, which is always great.
A lot of food and merry times were had, and nothing like getting back into Messiato for some more merry times.
Absolutely.
As we'll hop ourselves into game number 3 shortly.
I wonder how these lanes are going to end up, because it was Whitemon that ended up picking the Crystal Maiden, but are they going to switch these lanes up a little bit, just with the... again, Doom IO doesn't feel like the strongest lane to be able to go about this, We saw in game number 1 that they did switch around who was playing what. The lanes, where they had the Weaver in the safe lane, even though it was the position 4 Weaver, and it was really effective at being able to stop Masaros from having a lot of that impact on the Queen of Pain. So we'll see how things shape up, as it's pretty rare that a Lion's not going to be with a few friends when he makes that sort of play, so maybe just the team said, get the hell back onto this high ground.
I think both teams don't want to... if any one team wants to maybe level 1 fights, Motivate.Trust, but they don't want to run up high ground there.
Yeah.
They're the ones who have the better level 1 stuns. Nova not bad, but we'll see both teams back off and play it safe. For now, 2 Radiant Wards around this bottom river, so will they try and force this fight? This could be a juicy start to this game. We talked about things getting spicy. This could be it.
I mean, for me, Motivate.Trust just needs to come online a whole lot sooner than T1's, right? You've got the late game secured with an IO, of course, one of the best late game supports in the entire game. Doom, one of the best late game heroes in general in the entire game. And as soon as those BKBs become available, you just lose a lot of effectiveness.
Both teams 5 versus 5. They got like a 4-man Crystal Nova there, followed by stun. Nice Godric to push him back. Cuckoo's the target they want to go in with Zephyr. Can they get that last right click? Zephyr gets to the high ground. He's safe for now. Gets away from the Viper attack, so no casualties somehow. Massa can't finish off the IO or the Doom, so both teams losing a lot of health.
And once again, it is the 4 gauntlets build on the Mars. He's gone it again. He can't keep getting away with it.
Apparently you can. Oh my. Oh my.
Oh, they even went and stole the enemy team's bounty rune. That is 4 bounties for
GG.
T1. It's over. Call it.
It's like ping pong. You go down 7-0, you've lost right there.
Is that a rule?
It's a house rule some people have. I don't know. It's not an official rule.
So it is going to be the IO paired together with the Doom here. I suppose at least on that top side you're going to have the stun into the Crystal Nova and the Frostbite. That's really where I want to be looking at, around the 2 or 3 minute mark, as soon as you pick up level 2 on that CM.
Yeah. There's a lot of maybe kind of side effects of that level 1 fight. Like Cuckoo doesn't have Devourer level 1. He's just being ran at and harassed, doesn't have the ability to just grab a range creep, have the lane kind of push out, and then so we can get a wave to him.
I'm going to be keen to see on the top side as well the general positioning coming through from the Dawnbreaker, as well as Masaros, as they're looking to get nice and aggressive. This is the way to punish, right? Level 1 CM, not that strong. You see all the mangoes in her inventory at the moment. She had 4 at the time, but ended up having to use 1. And now that she's reached level 2, once you start to come back here on the Wraith King, there is some kill potential.
Mass is just trying to die. I don't know if he's intentionally feeding in the sense like it helps him to maybe die and reset his lane.
He's trying to die to the Crystal Maiden, I feel.
Yeah. He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to give Wraith King the kill.
Yeah.
But at the same time, once he gets a chance to reset, he may just wait. Yeah, it looks like his salve comes out, so he'll back up and he'll stay in the lane. Gotcha boy with the high ground ward, knew that he could dodge that stun.
feeling things a little bit here, you know, just obviously having a great game number 2 on that Invoker. Pretty rare these days that you get the opportunity to play it, unless it's, you know, the completely ideal game, but he's certainly made us stand up and take notice. Another one of these heroes that he's really high Dota Plus level on. I think it's a platinum tier this one around.
He's a grinder,
Yeah.
Because that's on a hero that a lot of mid laners are spamming in pub so much, which is probably why it's, you know, only platinum tier. Otherwise, Dawnbreaker top. Oh, that's a feed to the tower. I just saw that her health like disappearing. Okay, nothing. That's right.
It's fine.
Serving nothing to see here.
Get all those resources back. Just need to be careful on MG.Trust to make sure that you're not overextending. You do have those level timings on the Crystal Maiden and the Wraith King, so yeah, you should be able to get up there just in time.
Any surprises as far as how these lanes have started off for you?
I think it's just Motivate really taking advantage of the fact that, you know, the skills had to be skilled up in the way that they were, particularly that bot side, right? Like, there's a lot of a lot of last hits that they had to let pass by because of that, and well, you can see they're trying to get aggressive again. Level 3 trying to move on forward, but maybe Masteros not quite having the same amount of last hits that he would have potentially hoped for. Only the 9, no denies, and when you see a Mars, a lot of the time you do want to take advantage of the fact that you've got that slight extra attack range, you've got pretty good damage for the early stages of the game, so you can get a lot of denies off, but hasn't been able to so far.
Often you see the full gauntlets and never turning them into braces, but he's already got double bracer up. He's going for the full stats early game kind of strength there, and maybe partly because his lane didn't start that well.
Yeah.
That level 1 fight probably didn't help him, because you go full gauntlets and you have a big level 1 fight where you get harassed down.
Yeah.
It can kind of feel rough.
Will help him out with a little bit with that last hitting and denying, of course. Whitemon, he's been, you know, doing an alright job already with the 5 last hits, most of them, of course, being range creeps. So he's making sure that you're getting a lot of experience for the team. And you know, they've even, despite that kill onto 23 Savage, it seems like they've got a little bit of an experience lead here, which is going to bode well for T1.
See CM Wraith King, if they try and get aggressive with the mangoes on Whitemon, they've always got that ability for the nukes to come out.
Does feel a little bit like they're hedging their bets, right? CM very strong in the early game, falls off completely late game. Doom, you know, mid to late game, incredibly strong. Same sort of thing with the IO, Wraith King, of course, and I mean, we'll talk about the Leshrac. It's a rare hero that we get to see come on board, but if it's paired together with that IO, just multiplies in efficiency so much.
Yeah, it always feels like with IO you want to have some kind of an IO partner, or to maybe last game was more about hard countering a hero like Doom. This game around, you know, Wraith King, not great, not maybe terrible, but Leshrac gives you a really juicy hero to put in the front lines and use that tether heal burst on.
T1 are kind of saying, okay, well, you made it really hard for us to choose which target we want to go on. We'll do the exact same thing to you. You know, we've got the Reincarnate, and you've got the Leshrac that you have to deal with. Otherwise, he's just able to deal an incredible amount of damage.
The one thing I like that for Motivate.Trust though is having a repositioning against IO always feels nice. It's nice because if that Leshrac is on the front lines, like pushing or just frontlining, thinking of IO hide, you just blink spear the Leshrac in, and suddenly maybe you tether save, but you're always going to kill that IO because he has to go so deep in to maybe get that save off. Whereas last game, the tether saves were just straightforward. Often the IO wouldn't even die.
They've got a good amount of damage though on Motivate, especially once it gets to that, you know, level 6-ish sort of timing. So it's just going to be how well the T1 supports in particular are going to be able to navigate that, because you are still incredibly squishy at this stage.
Massa gets low. They're looking to turn and maybe dish out some damage in return. Massa has stick charges, but doesn't want to use them for any kind of a play here.
Well, going for a little bit of a backstab here is Boomboy.
Do they know he's here?
It's level 6 on Gacha Boy, so he's got to be careful.
It's the 6-minute runes, and it looks like Viper's going to get there first.
Oh, it's a haste rune as well.
He's zoning them away from it.
I mean, haste on a Viper is incredible at this stage of the game.
They don't want anything to do with it. At the same time, Jackie doesn't want anything to do with that Doom. He has to TP to his tower. He needs to be a little bit careful here, but without any backup, I don't think this Doom can really make too many plays.
I wonder how long Boomboy is going to actually stay in that lane as Massa.
Oh, TPs. Is this the Viper with the haste? The spear not going to stun him or lock him in place. He TPs out. He goes down before the TP even completes. Gacha Boy did rotate in. He didn't even have to use his haste rune in the end, it looks like. So nice kill for Motivate.Trust. A bit of a misplay there from 23 Savage.
Very nice. And you even had Boomboy, who was staying around that mid lane for a good solid minute and a half. So now he's soaking all of that experience that they passed up on Gacha Boy. which is really good, of course. You need a lot of that burst potential real early on to be able to deal with the IO, the Leshrac, and really burst them down. So nice little wins for them there. I like the fact that the Lion also stayed around that mid lane because, you know, if you were wanting to use that haste rune, look to go for the dive, of course, the big counterplay to the Viper is just TP away. If Lion's nearby, you're able to interrupt that and, you know, continue to snowball forward. And then, of course, it takes longer for you to get back to the lane afterwards.
Much like game number 2, Motivate.Trust feeling like they are the aggressors. They are the ones smoking up, making plays, trying to punish the T1 greed. And exactly that. They find the hero they're looking for. It's the Leshrac, and no chance to TP out now that you're that low. So good use of the Lion rotation.
And that was the haste rune being popped as well. So might discourage a few heroes from actually wanting to TP into this mid lane. There's no siege creep, sure, to connect with, but you've still got a good amount of damage and some decent lane push as well.
And the punish there was like, you know, okay, that means Mars is alone. Let's try going in. But the CM with the Wraith King just don't have enough damage. The Mars is, with this build he's gone, the Bracers means he's can't really be killed by just the 2 heroes if he's full health.
Just seeing here as well, I could see that the Viper is going into a Rod of Atos, it seems. Very obviously standard build to be able to go for. But it just means, of course, that you're not really wanting to be that frontline presence that just stands there and brawls. You've got the Mars, you've got the Razor who are kind of doing that job for you. And so it's just about obviously having the extra layer of control to enable the rest of your team to really have that big impact. What it does mean, though, is that, again, once the BKBs become available for T1, things are going to become a whole lot more difficult for you, despite the fact that Atos is still a really nice gold-efficient item.
Okay. Yeah, we'll see how long it takes for him to get that one out. For now, T1 just avoiding this Viper. Like the plague that this hero sometimes feels like. Just emitting green stuff everywhere. Very annoying to find him in the early game.
Yeah, it feels like it's been quite some time until we've seen Carl. Every single time that he shows in the lane, it's just an immediate beeline from the supports as well as Gacha Boy. Just get on top of him, because right now the IO doesn't want to be connecting through to him, right? Like, a tether's not going to be enough to save you. You need that relocate to actually have that same value.
Yeah, he's playing keep away, and it's succeeding so far. He's in the enemy jungle. The second he shows on the map, it's just to clear the wave as fast as possible and get out of there. So he knows that he's being hunted wherever he goes, and it's up to Motivate.Trust to make those smart smoke plays to really find where he is.
Yeah. Q definitely playing one of the
boys. He too far up here.
There's no Boom Boy to help
Frostbite,
him out.
no Splitter Earth follow-up. It looks like they realize with the Lion there, they do not want to take this fight.
And they were even able to defend that 8-minute power rune, so he's got the double damage. Will he look to play with the rest of the team? Because Q, he's been playing on the bottom side of the map. He's playing the Dawnbreaker, of course, level about 5.5, and one of those best heroes to A, be able to defend that tower, but also, of course, be extra efficient with getting all of that golden experience. He just hit up onto his level 6, so maybe they're going for this.
Arena, followed up by the God's Rebuke. Has he got a spear? He's going to maybe spear him back. No, he's going to hold on to it. Massa gets the first kill. That's the first life, but the Doom comes out onto the Viper. With the follow-up push stomp here, there's the counterplay. It's going to come from the Mars to keep him alive with a bit of heal here, and they get the nice Earth Spike onto the Doom. Have they got the damage to this one? IO can't keep him alive. The freezing field doing some good damage there to help kill off the Viper. That's the big kill that T1 were looking for, and even Zephyr jukes his way out of this one with a tether, and they may get massive with another Nova. Yeah, that's a great room for the Leshrac. Charging on forward, Jack Boys could be in some trouble here, but a great stun from Q. Keeps him alive. And they'll be zoned away with the Plasma Field. So Motivate.Trust cut their losses there, but Viper going down.
Yeah, really solid play from both teams, to be honest, right? Like, immediate use of those timings with the ultimate, but a good rotation coming out from the rest of the team, and in particular, Whitemon, right? Getting right in the trees, making it so that he's not immediately able to be stunned up afterwards, and also blocking off that avenue that Jackie was hoping to try and continue chasing up with that static link through the trees. You can't just walk into a freezing field at this stage of the game.
Yeah. Felt like there was Motivate.Trust like, oh, Vipers uses DD, let's try and turn it into a push. So he TP's top, but they were not able to follow up with much. I guess the nice thing is maybe there's an opening now with Reincarnation down. Like, without that's only set up because of Reincarnation, and Doom as well.
Freezing field, right? And Q just goes right back to bottom, right? He's like, look, I'm a strength hero. I've got some decent wave clear. It's the siege creep waves. Let's take top. Let's try and survive for as long as possible. Yeah, the siege creep's already gone on this bottom side, so he's going to be totally happy with this. Solar Guardian up in another 35 seconds, so I think he can be feeling pretty damn confident to just stay down here for all this time.
Yeah, just so easy to clear out those waves and keep towers alive. It seems like a lot more emphasis has been put on. You know, it used to be just like, oh, let's just let your safe lane tower go. But nowadays, anytime teams feel they have an edge, they're like, let's defend it.
Particularly when you've got one of these beefier supports that's able to actually be that frontliner.
Lion stealing some neutrals, and
And you just see in the net worth graph as well how that's reflected. Dawnbreaker far and away the highest support net worth there, really wanting to be that 4th core.
Well, we'll see Boombell if he can find any farm for himself to get an early Blink Dagger up, but he's got Finger of Death, so hoping to find a kill opening. As Masa not anywhere near a Blink Dagger.
Spear?
No.
Oh, hey,
there we
got
go.
him.
Oh, well predicted by Boombell. Finds the kill.
It was absolutely perfect. Very nicely done with that pickup there. For mine, it needs to be Gacha Boy. Like, every single one of his rotations just needs to be a winner, right? Because you are on this clock. Eventually, it is going to balance back out if Q ends up getting into the Aghanim Scepter. You can see he's going for the Holy Locket for now, just for the extra bonus that you're able to provide with the Luminosity and the Solar Guardian. Eventually, like I said, though, once you get the BKBs on T1, the only real way to counter that is to try and out-sustain the duration of those BKBs, and I feel like an Ag Solar Guardian is a decent way to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, the Leshrac is kind of this big area of effect damage, like you're getting everyone low, so that's where the Solar Guardian probably feels really nice.
Yeah.
Not to mention against the Doom target, so you're having a Holy Locket for some additional heal.
Even just the, eventually when you get the Ags, the evasion against a Wraith King, not going to have quite as much of the effectiveness. Might even be able to dodge the Infernal Blade as well.
And none of these T1 heroes go Spirit Vessel.
Absolutely. It's going to be rough.
IO theoretically could as like a luxury item, but I don't think you want to go.
I don't think he's going to be in a position of
He's
luxury.
thinking Holy Locket mech, and yeah, he's not even maybe thinking that right now.
Yeah.
He's hoping that.
Might just need to be Shiva's Guard or something like that on something like the Leshrac to be picked up.
We've seen like Wraith Kings go late game, like Skadi and stuff too, yeah.
So, it's anyone's game at this point, you know. Obviously, Doom being Doom, top of the net worth. But I guess the fact that they've still been able to retain their mid-tier 1 tower is a big bonus for T1. Cuckoo.
Yeah.
A little bit careful here. He's got the Doom available, so there is the turnaround potential if they catch them in the right sort of region.
And Trust, without those, you know, Blink Daggers on either Mars or Lion, don't have the best catch. So it does feel like they need that hero to kind of walk into them or to catch someone by surprise during maybe nighttime with a smoke, but when it's daytime and you're going high ground, there's no way you catch somebody if they're positioned well.
They're going all in on this early-ish game timing. Razor already having one component of the BKB, I believe, can buy the Mithril Hammer now if he wants to. And as soon as that Rod of Atos was picked up as well, Gacha Boy, he's got the BKB queued up himself. So the next 10-15 minutes, that's Motivate's timing.
Doesn't seem like... Okay, now let's say T1 maybe not looking to defend this tower, but they are going to start TPing in backup heroes to help keep Cuckoo alive if he gets gone on. But with this creep wave, it does seem like they're committing to this tier 1. Gacha Boy rotates in with Jackie. They're all TPing in. No fortifications if the tower goes down, but can they punish this? Cuckoo trying to lead the charge here. Gacha Boy going low, but yeah, great Earth Spike. As Leshrac rotates in, they get the backlines here with the IO relocating in, and
that's a big commitment.
Dawnbreaker is maybe just going to throw away his life here. Tries to leap his way out of there, but now Arena onto 3! Oh boy! Boombell follows up with a Finger of Death kill. He's trying to mana drain the Wraith King, but he's got way too much mana to get this kill. Can they kill him a second time? It's going to be tricky. If anything, 23 Savage just needs to stun and run. Boombell going to take Whitemon. He's the sacrificial lamb to ensure the retreat, and Masa picks up where he left off. Another sick Mars play from him.
Very nicely done. Just wanting to wait for the Doom to go off before they committed the Solar Guardian means that Gacha Boy still does end up falling, but I think you're very happy to take that trade if you're taking out 2 cores from the equation. Really nicely done by Whitemon at the end there as well. Just really throwing his body on the line, making sure the Frostbite was used onto the only hero that was capable of stopping the Wraith King from running away. Just making sure he was out of the stun range from the Lion.
Oh, for that. Let's see what Motivate.Trust can get. They're still not ahead, though, when you look at the gold difference. So you feel like T1, like, obviously they'd rather that not happen, but do you feel like T1's still okay with where this game is at right now?
Yeah, I think they're totally cool with it. Again, it's just about, for me, Viper keeps dying, right? And obviously it's a situation where you do need to continuously get kills. It's not happening, but plays like that, individual plays from Masteros, make it generally okay. You can see that they just want to continuously play on the front foot, though.
Yeah. Nice thing for Motivate is that tower is gone. That tower was very pesky. Now they can really push through, invade either the Ancients or the Dire Jungle through this mid lane. It makes pressuring bottom easier because they can take over this enemy triangle.
Yep, and once again, Q is just farming away. Look at his net worth. He's only like 1,500 gold behind a couple of the cores.
He's happily becoming a pseudo-core himself. And, with a mid-hero like Viper's not a hero that necessarily carries games or even keeps up in farm a lot of times, so...
There's that big BKB timing. So one little objective hit here. We've also got a few Ancients being farmed up right at the 17-minute mark, so maybe Motivate.Trust will get a little bit lucky with some of these tier 2 items that are going to look to come out and really cement these next few team fights, because neither team, at least until the Wraith King picks up the Desolator, amazing at taking Roche. Yep. So it's going to need to be a fight around that mid lane, maybe even defending Motivate's own tower, where they're able to, even if they need to commit a buyback, if you get the full static link off, win a team fight, and then use that to go into Roche.
Yeah, it's like Motivate.Trust have decent physical damage in a fight because of Razor, but that relies on him linking heroes, as you're saying. So killing Roshan is not saying Razor's good at, because you can't static link Roche. And more often than not, you win a fight, even if it's near the Roshan pit, that static link is going to be wearing off shortly after.
Absolutely.
But for Motivate, I mean, they don't seem to be prioritizing Roshan as an objective. They're much more prioritizing pushing out these waves. They're getting deep wards by the enemy Ancients. They're really just trying to hunt heroes.
Yeah. I mean, Razor, of course, he's decent at being able to farm creeps, but heroes is the name of the game for farming.
On, gets the D ward.
That Atos.
Yep, Viper Strike. That should be enough damage. Yeah, you betcha.
All right, well, that's one little kill that he's able to get to continue climbing up there, but it needs to keep happening, right? Yeah. I kind of wonder after the BKB if he's even going to go into something like the Ags, just for that little bit of extra range, perhaps, just to enable him a bit more in these team fights. Okay. Wouldn't be, super surprised.
Yep. That's for Motivate.Trust. I mean, they haven't been able to make any big smoke plays because they haven't had Blink Daggers. Now Mars does have a Blink, just recently picked up. Lion still working on his, hoping for a Philly Stone, but so far wish is not granted. It's T1 you get. I love T1. They get the Philly Stone and it goes to the last track. Ugh. The supports are just like, come on.
Cause they just want everything these days,
That's just like, I need the mana. That's it's like, it's not about the gold. Ooh, there's the blink.
Oh, poor
Catches the CM. Dawnbreaker's going to follow it up with the Solar Guardian. Pops right onto the Wraith King, who should die at least once here. The question is going to be, can they kill him a second time? The Io's tethering up the Doom. The Doom comes out. Is this going to be enough? It looks like Cuckoo, full retreat, gets relocated out of this one, but that means 23 Savage doesn't have an escape plan, nor does Carl. The slows are just too much, and with Massa blinking in, one or two more right clicks will finish him off, and huge win for Motivate.Trust.
Very nicely done then by Masseros, and the big difference there was that Phaelus, he was just free clicking. He had a completely free fight that time around, of course, assisted by that great stun combination coming through together, but his positioning much more ideal in that fight. You never really want to be on the front lines as that Viper. You're not the catch. That has to be given over to Masseros, and well, even Boomboy eventually, with these team fights continuing to succeed, he's only 100 or so gold away from picking up his own Blink Dagger. So
Philly Stone!
Let's
go!
Did it! Just watch, one of the cores take it again.
Yeah, Viper's like, I don't right click.
Let the poison attack do the work.
Time. Yeah, the dot will do it. Lion happily already has the Blink Dagger, but we'll see where it ends up. If anything, Lion probably makes more sense than Dawnbreaker.
I mean, you want to give him over an Aghanim Shard, right? You're going up against a Wraith King, against a Leshrac. You want that multi-man mana drain, especially with the spell immunity as well. It means that you need to commit something like the Doom onto the Lion, which you never really want to be doing.
Another catch. It's this poor CM. This, honestly, CM, it feels good for the lane, but what a sad way to die.
See, if that was one of my pubs, that is where I would all chat and be like, pretty much okay coming out. Just saying like, look, it's me, I'm a position 5. You realize there's some other heroes in this game, right?
Not just like, and it's like, it's the CM of position 5. Right. It's like the saddest position 5 after the lane stage. Just like, come on, I'm useless.
And I kind of feel like this is why the CM isn't picked up all that much. It's one of those heroes that you just die at the start of fights. You don't have a natural escape. You're not very tanky yourself. And once BKBs are picked up, nothing really happens. So
you compare it to what it brings to the table to the Lion. Like the Lion is an insta-stun.
Or even something like an Ogre, right? At least you're going to bloodlust someone. At least someone's not going to immediately burst you down in a lot of these engagements.
Yeah. Definitely feeling like we're at that point where the CM is falling off as far as being a high-impact hero.
She is still leading the way through
Bell
this smoke.
Blinks away. Pogo stick as well. They find a different target. It's going to be the Razor. The Solar Garden is there, and Razor gets a chance to BKB link off onto 23 Savage. He's got the reincarnation, but a lot of damage being stolen, and Motivate.Trust decide not to go diving. They find a nice little CM target. Why not? let's take that. Carl's going to be careful. He's in the front lines here. I think he's got the eye to back him up. And with 23 Savage throwing away his first life, this could go well for T1. Carl needs to stay alive. He's banking on the eye with a nice burst heal. Gacha Boy's out of mana. Can they get this Wraith King? He's not really getting low enough, and it's T1 who are coming out on top with Gacha Boy out of health, out of mana. Relocate forward with a doomed up Razor. They want this kill. He's got no backup, and this is a big fight. That's what T1 were looking for.
They just ran out of juice. Like, they popped everything there. Viper had nothing at the end of that fight. You had the secondary life there on the Doom. Sorry, not on the Doom, on the Wraith King. You had the BKB on the Doom, which meant that he was able to just continuously move on forward. You know, Masaros, he was very low on mana, very low on HP, tried to get the spear off, but it was a good divide and conquer strategy coming through from T1 there.
That's where the CM dying early to the Mars round. It was still on cooldown, I want to say, at the start of that fight. So without the arena, Motivate.Trust not as spooky.
A little bit greedy to be dropping arenas for to pick up that CM kill, I feel.
Then they got baited in by another CM kill.
Right.
That's what the CM does that other supports don't do. Bait's better because it's like, oh, it's a CM, it's a free kill. You see an Ogre, you're like,
probably
maybe
can't
not.
kill him, yeah. It'll
CM?
take another 2 seconds.
Sweet, we're in. I'll use a stun. Oh shit, we got baited.
Whitemon MVP again. But he's trying to make himself a little bit harder to kill going into that 4 stuff. I think he's actually, got the recipe completed there as well. So going to be great against the Razor and the Viper. And with this, I mean, they know that there's
they see the CM.
There's no Doom though, right? So I feel like they're feeling pretty confident in being able to just take this away. I wonder who they're going to give it to. Is it going to be another Masaros Aegis or perhaps Gacha Boy?
They got to get it first. There is T1 kind of converging on the pit. Like you say, no Doom, also no Reincarnation. So 23 Savage has to be careful about frontlining. And this Roche is dropping fast enough.
Jackie actually ends up taking it.
Or, I guess he's kind of the frontline tank. It's no longer the carry Mars of last game. Well, last game you had the Wraith King who doesn't.
And he had the IO to pair together with as well, just to buff him up a little bit extra. I was kind of wondering, like, just because the Viper ran out of mana that time around, do you give him the Aegis just to be able to provide him with that extra mana pool?
Yeah.
I guess the thing is, when he runs out of mana, you just stop hitting him, right? You just ignore him entirely. But there is that BKB. Speaking of the Razor, they even pick up the Arcane Rune here with the Doom. How close is Cuckoo to that Doom cooldown is what I would want to see. Yeah, 5 seconds.
Yeah. And if, as much as they may want to fight soon with this Aegis, it doesn't feel like that time is right now.
Oh, level 15 on Q, by the way, with
massive.
The ads. If you've got this Arcane Rune, in my opinion, worth committing the Doom onto him to be able to kill him, just so that you can, take a little bit more of that map control away. They might even just find him here.
Does he TP out?
He's Celestial Hammered away.
He DB'd out. Oh. We're on Dire Vision. We got baited. I think I don't know what. Yeah, he got out somehow. Oh, he used ulti out. Okay. We can't hear. We can't hear the spells.
Got it. Yeah,
the observer
can
can
hear.
1
second wind-up time as opposed to the a little bit slower if you don't have it. Yep. To be able to stay up in the air for 6 seconds with the Holy Locket, with all the levels that he's been able to achieve by being, playing solo for a big portion of the game. Like, he's nearly got more net worth than Masaros. This is insane, the amount of work that Q's been able to do. And this is the style of Motivate.Trust that I love to see. So many games I feel have been carried by Q in his play. The Mirana in the previous game, I feel like he set up so many kills onto 23 Savage.
We'll see if he can continue it here. It's T1 with the gold lead, despite Motivate.Trust having the Aegis, and they're the ones kind of playing aggressive.
One team fight, and that's all it takes for the graph to be.
I mean, it's also very small, like the amounts that are. It looks like a big plummet,
the range,
but it's like, oh, that's a big plummet. Well, it's like a 2 to 3. I mean, 2 to 3K gold is decent, but it's not like a game changer.
Yeah, especially it's kind of like big-ish considering you think of like the super late game of both of these teams, and again, it is still T1 favored if it gets beyond the 35-minute mark, I would say.
Very much feels like a lot's going to come down to some of the spell casting, like Cuckoo having a Doom. He already bought the 4 stuff before Razor finished Lincolns, knowing he's going to eventually need a way to cancel Lincolns. They've just become such a common, popular item pickup.
Yep.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Quite nice for them, and well, they're just wanting to take advantage of this Aegis, it seems, playing a little bit more aggressively, as actually making a bit of a TP to the tier 2 tower there.
They seem to know he's here. They're pinging him out with that defensive ward. They've actually kind of scouted him, but
ballsy play, not punished though.
No.
I was kind of thinking they might try and rally around that siege creep in the mid lane, considering you have the Aegis for the next 2 or so minutes.
Do they see Wraith King?
Oh, right on the
was
edge.
it just on the edge of it?
I think it's
And I think, yeah, it's it's two supports. Lion had the Dawnbreaker teeping in, so if Razor had maybe been able to get there sooner, but good map awareness from 23 Savage.
It's not the Lion with the Philly Stone, by the way. Dawnbreaker's holding on
Even
to it.
after the Ags?
Yeah.
Ooh, double ulti, I mean, sure, why
Nice.
not? Honestly, yeah, Lion with a blink, you're happy.
You're happy, yeah, absolutely.
Radiant's middle tower
You know what he's going to go for. I mean, 4 stuff on the Lion wouldn't be too terrible as well. Just pray that the Leshrac doesn't get something like the spider legs. Use it to clear cliffs and make sure that you're able to get away a little bit easier.
Help maybe someone who gets doomed to force him out or something, but either that or Glimmer seems to make the most sense.
Yep.
Radiant's middle
But
tower
for
is
T1, they're
under
grouped
attack.
up. They may be ready for another fight fairly soon. They're 23 Savage is, he's online. His Wraith King's ready to fight.
That
Blink
was
Dessa.
underneath the
Ooh.
high ground observer ward. Rare mistake coming
Okay.
through from Motivate.Trust.
Do they utilize this info to fight, or are they just going to try dodge?
And they're drawing around on the ground, just basically saying, well, we got to make sure
Don't
that we're
get
set
caught.
up in the trees here.
Yeah, Cuckoo's like, you want to pop the smoke, but also be in fog or in trees, and he even backs further away near his tower.
Well, they realize that this rotation might be coming through towards the top
they
side.
see
Will
the
they see
tether?
it? Not
No.
quite.
Yeah, just right now, Radiant playing with very minimal vision. The vision they have is very defensive on their side of the map, which is a little bit surprising, considering they're the ones who've been the aggressive. They're trying to, I guess, catch T1 farming their side of the map, but as a result, they can't catch them when they're running away from them.
Exactly. And, well, they weren't really able to get much good usage out of this first Aegis. It's being reclaimed in 10 seconds, and, I mean, a lot of people say that first Aegis, you don't have to worry about it. It's more of a farming Aegis, but again, against this T1 lineup with the heroes that they've got, farming isn't what you want to be doing. You want to be pushing, you want to be taking objectives and preventing other heroes from farming on T1.
Will he ulti out again?
Ooh,
The TP.
got him.
Nicely placed.
You can just
Carl.
get away now, though.
Yep. There you go. Use one stun. Well, got a Dawnbringer ulti out.
And he does have that
They're
refresher roll
trying to
being queued up.
re-engage here. Will they? See, they do see this coming. They've still got that cliff ward, and they're going to smoke maybe right into this one. T1 feeling like the Solar Guardian being on cooldown could be an opening for them,
Nice
and
positioning.
Motivate.Trust have to maybe
Gotcha, boy.
get out of this one. Yeah, he's going to just BKB. Can he TP out? Not against the Doom. Will he go in? Cuckoo. He's
just
thinking
keeping
about it.
vision.
He's waiting for the BKB to wear off. There's going to be an instant ATOS, but Gacha Boy is in all sorts of trouble. Motivate.Trust have to just cut their losses.
Yeah, some not ideal positioning coming through there from Gacha Boy. Boom Boy, he was in position to be able to break that smoke, but unfortunately it's a core that ends up dropping down. And, well, even as a Lion, it's not like you're playing one of these Weaver or Snapfire heroes that's able to quickly keep the wave pushed out. They know that they don't have that Aegis to play around with anymore, and not even needing to pop any of their big cooldowns on T1 to get that core kill.
And right now, the T1, they just seem to have this huge vision advantage. There's 3 wards down bottom, plus the ward up top near Roshan. They see everything, and that's allowed them to pick and choose the favorable fights, whereas Motivate.Trust don't really have any good vision.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Bonus is that they were able to pick up that Psychic Headband, though, for the Lions, so
Okay.
helps them out a little bit more. It means that even if Whitemon looks to commit the Frostbite onto one of these targets that isn't going to have the BKB, you might be able to still just clip them with the edge of the Earth Spike, or perhaps get a Hex off. So it's feeling quite good for T1 right now. The lead continuing to grow and grow. It's gradual, but feels inevitable as well.
It does feel like you see Viper Razor, and you're not thinking we scale late game.
Just getting worse and worse. 25% win probability now. It's going to need to be around this second Aegis timing, right? It's also providing that the Aghanim Shard, which is going to be quite effective on a number of heroes. To be honest, I still feel like it would be really value on the Lion, just to make sure that, yes, you ran out of juice in that previous fight, but if you're able to mana drain the Leshrac, then, they might suffer the same sort of issue on T1 side.
Okay. See if they can even secure that second rush, because I don't think T1's going to give it up so easy. They're playing around their area. They decide, okay, time to smoke in. They scan. They know it's safe, and they're going to probably look to put down a high. Yeah, from both teams, really. Motivate.Trust reading this movement.
Gotcha, boy.
Oh, he gets the BKB off. Got off the Viper Strike as well. There's no Doom, but the right click from the Wraith King may just be too much. The Dawnbreaker Solar Guardian keeps him alive. They heal him back up. The Doom goes down with the help of the Finger of Death. CM, just doing CM things and feeding.
That's like committing the ultimate.
23 Savage in trouble with the DD rune. He thought he had the physical damage to chase down the BKB Viper, but he did not, and now he may die a second time. With Roshan respawning soon, this could be a disaster for T1. They're going to lose a third hero.
Well, Luckily enough for T1 though, 2.5 minutes on the Roche. It's a long one, but
oh, I thought that was 0-24
no,
from back here. We're far
unfortunately
away,
not.
yeah.
Yeah, but you know, maybe just play a little bit of mind games there on Motivate. You know, Gotcha Boy, you got picked off on that previous skirmish on the bottom side and just said, hey guys, in a dumb position here, and really just bring him right underneath that tier 2 tower. Great ultimate coming through, and they even fed through the extra Tome of Knowledge onto Q, making sure he was level 18 before that fight.
Nice.
So you got a ton of healing coming through from that Solar Guardian, and no buybacks, 20 seconds. I feel like you can get some decent damage onto this tower if you want to, but they might be looking to scout around this Roche pit.
Yeah,
unfortunately
they're
for
probably
them.
hoping for an early Roche respawn, like,
Yeah.
let's camp around Roche, let's deward some of this vision. They need to check all these cliffs, you know. At this point, T1 have kind of gotten away with too much vision and too much map control. Something Boombell is realizing down bottom.
He's been playing really well on Boombell though. I feel like his
Oh, yeah.
positioning, great. He's also been rewarded, of course, with a Psychic Headband. He's been lucky enough that he can go into an Aether Lens, I believe I saw him have queued up. And I think
Okay.
Q has about 4,000 gold in the bank. So he's very, very far towards picking up that refresher, even having the ceremonial robe there. So, you know, of course, staying in the air is great for being able to provide the healing, to be able to counter out the Doom, the Leshrac, all of the physical damage from the Wraith King, but you're dealing a lot of damage yourself as well, just with all of that status resistance and magic resistance.
Yeah, double Solar Guardian going to soon be coming into play, almost level 20 as well. He's had a fantastic time. He's out-leveling his Viper now.
Yep. Doing a great job on Q. This is why I really value him as one of the best position 4s in the region. He just does a lot of unorthodox things that you do need to consider in the draft phase, right?
Yep.
We were cheering when we saw that Dawnbreaker come out because it's just
Yeah.
so rare that a successful one comes around these days.
And even last game, his Mirana was pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Maybe
on
not the
point.
stand-up, but he got to play some, get some greedy items and have some fun.
Buy a Dagon.
Yeah.
I was like, really? No Solar Crest? All right, go for your life. Clearly it worked.
Oh, smoke up T1. They want to make a jump here in the mid lane, but
It's right before Roche respawn as well.
Gotcha Boy showing himself, but not pushing far enough forward
They
for T1 to
learned.
jump.
They learned
Yeah.
from their previous.
Even there, it's like that shows very good understanding of
Oh,
what's
that's
going
a
on.
DD.
Whoa!
Masa.
That's a BKB. Misses the spear on 23 Savage, but he's still doing huge right-click damage. They may force out the first life with the reincarnation. Zephyr does barely pull him out back to safety. If he died there and the relocate didn't go off, that could have been really bad.
Now, does this mean that T1 can just go in and Roche? You don't have the arena available. You don't have Eye of the Storm either.
Okay.
Might be feeling pretty confident with this, and the pings start to come out. Yeah, they just
Yeah.
walk straight on in.
They've got the perfect hero just to put in the pit and the Wraith King, who still does have those 2 lives. Do Motivate.Trust just give this one up? It is Roche number 2, so it is a shard, but with Nether Toxin, you know, there's some annoying stuff Motivate.Trust can do. Maybe throw out them Earthspike Spike, but this is dying fast, and they got to get in there. They're not even... Nate, well, Dawnbreaker's not there, but can ulti in.
Yep.
Roche is down. They get scanned, but it's too late.
All right. That's... I mean, who are they giving over the shard to? I think it was the Lesh that ended up picking it up. Just it's going to be quite nice,
Yeah,
especially for any kind of high ground defense that Motivate need to do in the next 5 or so minutes. And of course, going to be even harder now that you've got the Aegis as well to contend into. Level 20 picked up by Savage, so he's got that cleave component as well. Just enables him to farm, push out that lanes that little bit quicker, not needing to rely on the skeletons. And Viper, actually we were talking about all of the different minus healing that's going to be coming out on T1. It's going to be Viper going into Ascari himself.
Okay.
I
Nice
like it.
pickup. Yeah, just kiting everyone, stopping some of that healing. You're against, you're against Aya, you're against Leshrac. Even, Wraith King you may want it. It'd be helpful against.
He's got the Shadow Blade picked up on the Wraith King as well, so if he's able to finish up the Silver Edge, it's going to mean the Nether Toxin, Corrosive Skin. I'm not a Viper player, I don't really know the names, but the passive isn't going to be quite as effective, particularly against the Leshrac, right?
Yeah.
In having all of that minus magic resistance available.
Motivate.Trust, unfortunately, maybe for them with their draft, they are committed to going into the late game. Razor definitely scales better than, he used to with this new build, this refresher BKB. But it is still a tough ass when you're against offlane Doom, Wraith King, Leshrac. All 3 of these heroes very happy to keep this game dragging. Leshrac with an amazing 25 talent.
Oof. Look at Razor's items, though. He's got everything you could possibly want. That refresher. I mean, of course, Blink Dagger going to be amazing just to be able to get in onto those backlines. You want to try and tether up someone like the Io, especially now that Lion's got the The Blink Dagger as well, it means that you're not going to be able to get that relocate off quickly enough. You're going to have the burst from the Finger of Death to be able to take him down and just commit 2 heroes for the purpose. And then you can actually, you know, turn around, use the second one to go onto one of the cores.
Yep. We'll see how some of these late games unravel. It feels like a game where T1 have like the more farm, better scaling cores, but Motivate.Trust trying to make up for it by having 4 core heroes.
Exactly. You know, 4 greater than 3.
Yep.
I know you said you did NA maths when you were growing up, but even that
one we got taught.
We got it. Yeah.
I can handle single digits. We're fine.
Okay.
As long as we're not going double digits.
No, that's university level.
Yeah. So. See the players here. This is, you know, kind of a calm before the storm. This game is, you know, it's had its moments. It's had its ups and downs. You know, a couple of big fights at times, but this is where it's like, okay, we're entering late game Dota where stuff can get a bit crazy.
What sort of talking do you think is going to go on throughout all of this? I'm sure it's Cuckoo really at the front trying to rally the troops around, you know, what key objectives need to be taken, who needs to be the first person gone on in all of this.
Based on the cameras, no talking. I didn't see a single player
Cuckoo,
talking.
though. We didn't see
No,
Cuckoo.
that's the thing. You're only seeing one at a time, so the odds of it being a player talking, you know, it's like 1 in 5 maybe. I'm sure there's some. Usually it's let's talk about what does a good fight look like? Like what spells do you need to be used on what heroes and what enemy spells you have to like really be wary of. Like if you're a Motivate.Trust, you're thinking, okay, how do we respond to somebody getting doomed, for example? How do we deal with relocates? Like don't overcommit on a hero unless we know we can cancel the relocate, for example.
Yeah, or go on the IO himself.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, let's have a quick look at what the vision's looking like for Motivate. It does seem pretty defensive still, right?
Yeah.
So they were able to set up quite nicely. Again, both Masaros and Bumbui were sitting up in the trees around all of that, which is great. But again, T1, they just feel like they can wait that little bit longer, maybe get that extra item that they need. I mean, a leveler, if they're able to take a successful team fight, means that they can then progress into more objectives for themselves, but they actually go on forward.
Whoa, they caught him with a Hex Earth Spike. I don't know if they've got the damage, and with the A on disc and the relocate out, he stays alive. Does Jackie look to fight with the refresher?
Spot, though.
Yeah, 23 Savage on the low ground. He's invis. Do they have detection for this one? Jackie may get stunned. He goes on the back lines here, but the Hex is there.
What a Hex.
Yeah, he gets him. And 23 Savage does have the 2 lives here with Leshret coming in from the back lines. Boombell in all sorts of trouble. His line gets sliced to pieces, but he has done his job. He killed off the CM and the IO. They force out the buyback, but with the Doom on the Viper, Fearless is in trouble here, and the buybacks will prevail for T1, guaranteeing that this fight does go okay for them.
What is it about the Lions in these series? Like the instant Hex coming out from both Bumbui as well as last game with Whitemon. It's just been exceptional gameplay coming through there. And, you know, the fact that you've been able to get a buyback out of T1, I feel like you're going to be reasonably okay with that.
Yeah. The buyback matters more than, you know, T1 maybe come out on top slightly on Golden XP, but that buyback in late game, especially on a hero like an IO, that can be a game changer.
Yeah.
Question is, can T1 get something following this? They've still got the Aegis, but going high ground seems not... I don't know. It doesn't feel like they have enough time for it.
Not super easy, but I don't think that might even be their first key objective, right? It might just be taking at least one of these tier 2 towers. You take away that outpost, and, you know, if the IO, you know, needs to relocate back or something like that, at least you can TP now to the Radiant outpost and join the team back a little bit more quickly.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't realize that. Yeah, that's the first tier 2 tower they've taken. Took them
with a Lesh lineup, right? Which is...
They've been biding their time. We'll see where they look to go now. Carl using that Trickster cloak.
Moving around aggressively here. Now he's in the region. Oof.
They're nearby, Massa.
Oh, he's stuck between them. It's nighttime. That might be a saving grace here.
But they've caught the Wraith King. Reincarnation has come back up, but he's going to lose his first life for nothing on the backlines. It's a great Mars Arena onto 2. That's why 23 Savage has been completely left alone. But Cuckoo, he shows up with a Blink Hoof Stomp, perhaps to save the day. They've lost the CM, but that's all they've lost so far. And Massa without a BKB could be in trouble with the Dawnbreaker, the Stolen Guardian. He keeps him alive. Instead, they go into Carl. Earthspike gets Lotus. Great turnaround. It's a 2-hero Earthspike on a Motivate.Trust. And now Cuckoo blinks in with another 2-hero stun. The Hoof Stomp is there. Split Earth to follow it up. T1 with a perfect execution. Somehow win this fight. That looked horrible for them, but the Lotus Orb just turned everything around.
What gameplay coming out there from Carl, you know. Able to isolate a lot of heroes. Masaros had 3 people on the backside of that team fight, and Carl still able to turn around with that clutch Lotus.
Yeah, and Cuckoo, I think, saves the Wraith King there, because Wraith King was like...
damage, 9,000 damage.
Like, I thought that Wraith King was just dead, because what Massa did, isolating everyone, it was like, this Wraith King was alone, but Cuckoo comes in just blink hoof stomping everyone, stunning them up, and can't do anything about it.
And, well, you've got that leveler as well on the Wraith King. I'm not sure if he had it backpacked or just in the slot the entire time. Actually doesn't have it at all, so it's not going to be quite as quick of a push into the high ground as they might be hoping for, but still a lot to deal with that Diabolic Edict. You've also got Kyle hanging on to level 25, so...
Yeah, that's painful as they do go charging with the buyback on Master. They want to fight this one. Jackie in the front lines pops the refresher. They spear in the Wraith King. 23 Savage goes down, and Jackie wants to keep fighting. Wraith King's going to buy back for this one. He has got the outposted TP2, so he'll be back in here soon. But Jackie...
That left shard, though, is doing a lot of work.
He's got to be careful, yep. They can't run into the Split Earth. There is going to be a Solar Gun trying to heal them back up. Nice Arena going to spear Carl. But the Lesh stunts keep on coming, and now Wraith King is going to be back. Cuckoo, huge stunts from him as Masa gets low. They're just getting torn to shreds. T1 have taken out Mars and the Lion, forced out the buyback from the Razor and Dawnbreaker, who died in that too, and now with a 20k gold lead and racks being claimed, they want to go for the killing blow.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Jackie used the refresher in that previous one, so even with the buyback, he's not going to have a ton of effectiveness, and 3 heroes, no buyback. This might be it.
They're dying one by one. That shard ended up coming up huge, and Carl just making full use of all these items. Shivers, Bloodstone, the Lotus Orb, we saw some sick plays. And it looks like T1 have done it. They're going for the tier 4s in the throne in 2 versus 5. I don't see any way Motivate.Trust can turn this one around. And unfortunately for them, a close 3-game series is not going to go their way. GG is called, and T1 have done it.
Oh, it just went a little bit too late. You know, those BKB started to come out. Those big survivability items, the Lotus Orb, you know, a little bit more tankiness on the CM and the IO, which meant that Masaros isn't instantly able to chunk down those heroes inside of that Arena of Blood. And Cuckoo, he's happier than anyone with that result.
Yeah, he was having some laughs with his friends there, and can't blame T1, feeling good about this one. A big win for them, a tough opponent, and for, you know, as mentioned, you know, several times, it's a team that wants to get back to the majors. They did so well at the Ana Major.
Yes,
I know
absolutely.
This team, they want to go back. They want to be on LAN. Top 8 at TI. This team is the real deal.
Yeah, I think they're going to be up there. You know, at the start of the season, I was thinking, you know, T1 boom, I'm going to be feeling very confident in them showcasing Southeast Asian Dota at any majors that they attend. And, well, if they keep playing that sort of Dota, it's going to be a real treat to see how it's going to be.
Well, one of the tests is done for T1. They've still got a few more. They're only 3-1, I believe.
Yes.
So they're the team that has like the most series left to play. So while they are one of the favorites to get to the major, they've got to beat some tough opponents. And, well, they've beaten Motivate.Trust here. We're going to wrap up today. Thank you for joining me for a cast. It's been fun.
Man.
We're going to head to a quick break and come back, bring that back in as we wrap up today's Saturday games in the SC8 DPC.